What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. I don't even remember what it was about, honestly, but just real life situations I have. I always have like these random moments where I feel like, that's interesting. Okay, it's always helpful acknowledging your the the right word isn't flaw, but like where you mess up and just you are avoiding something and you know it. There's no lying to yourself and just oh, I believe it was how like love it might be, how your fluency might interrupt some moments of of love and like add doubt or whatever. But anyways, in this episode we will react to a video here about Andrew Huberman. So let's hop in and let's check it out.
What's being developed in terms of treatments for stutter?
Yeah, so we actually accidentally came across stuttering in songbirds, and we've published several papers on this to try to figure out the neurobiological basis. The first study we had was a brain area called the basal ganglia, or the striatum part of the basal ganglia, involved in coordinating movements, learning how to make movements. When it was damaged in the speech-like pathway in these birds, what we found is that they started to stutter as the brain region recovered. And unlike humans, they actually recovered after 3 or 4 months. And why is that the case? Because bird brains undergoes new neurogenesis in a way that human or mammal brains don't. And it was the new neurons that were coming into the circuit, but not quite, with the right proper activity, was resulting in this stuttering in these birds. And after it was repaired, not exactly the old song came back after the repair, but still it recovered a lot better. And it's now known, they call this neurogenic stuttering in humans, with damage to the basal ganglia or some type of disruption to the basal ganglia at a young age also causes stuttering in humans. And even those who are born with stuttering, it's often the basal ganglia that's disrupted than some other brain circuit. And we think the speech part of the basal ganglia.
Can adults who maintain a stutter from childhood repair that stutter?
They can repair it with therapy, with learning how to speak slower, learning how to tap out a rhythm during stutter. And yeah, I'm not a speech pathologist, but I started reading this literature and talking to others colleagues who actually study stuttering. So yes, there are ways to overcome the stuttering through behavioral therapy. And I think all of the tools out there have something to do with sensory motor integration, controlling what you hear with what you output in a thoughtful, controlled way helps reduce the stuttering.
There are a couple examples from real life that I want to touch on, and one is somewhat facetious, but now I realize is a serious neurobiological issue. Serious meaning, I think, interesting, which is that every once in a while, I will have a conversation with somebody who says the last word of the sentence along with me. Mm-hmm. And it seems annoying in some instances, but I'm guessing this is just a breakthrough of the motor pattern, that they're hearing what I'm saying very well. So I'm going to interpret this kindly and think they're hearing what I'm saying. They're literally hearing it in their mind, mm-hmm. and they're getting that low-level electrical activity to their throat, and they're just joining me in the enunciation of what I'm saying, probably without realizing it. Can we assume that might be the case?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. So the motor theory of speech perception, where this idea originally came, what you hear is going through your speech circuit and then also activating those muscles slightly. So yes. So one might argue, okay, is that speech circuit now interpreting what that person is speaking, now you listening to me, and is going to finish it off because it's already going through their brain and they can predict it? That would be one theory. I don't think the verdict out there is no, but that's one. The other is synchronizing turn taking in the conversation, where you're acknowledging that we understand each other by finishing off what I say. And it's almost like a social bonding kind of thing. The other could be, I want the person to shut up so I can speak as well and take that turn. And each pair of people have a rhythm to their conversation. And if you have somebody who's over talkative versus under talkative or vice versa, that rhythm can be lost in them finishing ideas and going back and forth. But I think having something to do with turn taking as well makes a lot of sense.
I have a colleague at Stanford who says that interruption is a sign of interest. I'm not sure that everyone agrees. I think it's highly contextual.
Yes.
But there is this form of a verbal nod of saying, or things of that sort. And there are many of these. And I'm often told by my audience, that I don't interrupt my guests and things of that sort. Oftentimes I'll just get caught in the natural flow of the conversation. But
well, I think we've had pretty good turn taking here, I hope.
So far, so good.
I feel that way.
I'm glad you feel that way, because especially in the context of a discussion about language,
yes.
This seems important.
All right, that was interesting. I want to be clear. Like I've said in many episodes, I'm sure, like I'm not a professional, I'm not a pathologist, so me hearing a lot of those, just a lot of those words, I don't know what any of that is. I don't know the science behind it, just what is happening in the brain. All I know is that I struggle with it. That is all I know as someone who's lived his life since I was like 6 or 7 with it. But it's interesting. I didn't realize that it can happen in birds as well. I mean, it is a language. Obviously, it's not a language I would say we are familiar with. So who would say, like, who would even like imagine, birds have that. It's even hard to like imagine how it would sound in a bird. But yeah, when I hear these videos or listen to them, I always used to like wonder, like, is there a solution rather than like you, as he said, like slow down and everything. And mind you, those are helpful, because like I vlog, I shoot whatever these shows and whatnot, and just once in a while I find myself sort of rushing the words out, just because it's not always because I'm worried. It's also because I just have a lot on my mind and I'm in this sort of this rhythm, so I want to flood it out, and just like once I realize I'm rushing, I sort of make an effort to slow down. So it helps slowing down for sure. It helps everything sound more fluent, more gathered. But yeah, it's all about noticing. And man, if you're like me, ever since a young age, like I was hoping like there would be some sort of surgery or something, which is insane. Like I would not want any sort of like brain surgery to resolve the issue. But if you watch my all of my episodes, we're not here to solve it. We're here to acknowledge it and love yourself, live with it, and not avoid. And that's the main reason I'm here. Once we like fall in this rabbit hole of, okay, maybe there is a solution somehow, and it's just too much. And it's not something that's really bad, like you can make it your life goal to resolve this for sure. Like if you really feel that there's a solution, because because with a lot in life there is, and it happens years later, like hundreds of years later, like we've heard of issues from like the 1800s, 1900s, where there was like no medicine for it, and just now all of a sudden there is. So you you never know. But that's the harder route. Like, do you really have the resources or the time to try and solve that, rather than actually living your life and enjoying it? It's all on you, though. The choice is yours. But yeah, I'll see you guys. And my email is below. If you're someone who is like me, and you wanna let me know about yourself, and how it was growing up, or how you've done better and how you've managed it. I want to hear from you. Might even like read it on here and react to it. I'd really love that. That's the whole reason I'm here, is to really build a community. I'll see you guys.